Bitcoin has landed on Wall Street. Futures started trading last night. Traders are now betting on the price of Bitcoin down the road, Bitcoin's debut session. So futures surged as much as 25%. Joining us right now is Fire App CEO Wolfgang Koester and Standpoint Research founder and director Ronnie Moas. Good to see you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Ronnie, kick us off here. What's your take on what's going on with Bitcoin right now?
My take on Bitcoin is as follows. We have $200 trillion right now around the world spread out across stocks, bonds, gold, and cash. And all four of those are overvalued. If 2% of that $200 trillion ends up in cryptocurrency, you're looking at a $4 trillion valuation. If Bitcoin maintains its current 63% market share, it would send the price to $150,000. And that is my target looking out 3 to 5 years.
Well, if. There were a lot of ifs in there, Wolfgang. How do you see it?
Well, I see it from the perspective of corporations. I've been working with corporations and governments for the last 30-plus years, thinking about and talking about currencies. Corporations are looking at it saying, I really can't get involved in this. And there's three main just recent things. And by the way, the corporations are about $3 trillion a day, not market cap, a day volume in that market. They're thinking about three things. One, they're thinking about what just happened with Senate Bill or is going to happen with Senate Bill 1241. Two, what's the United States government going to do, for example, on taxation? And three, and this is the most important part, is the United States, as well as many other countries, are going to come out with their own cryptocurrency. So we can, and they will call it a digital dollar, digital currency. So what they're going to be interested in is all these companies. We should be very thankful for what Bitcoin has done to actually create and take out inefficiencies in the market. But at the end of the day, the corporations are going to look at the digital currencies more issued by the governments.
So I guess this question will be more for Ronnie. Ronnie, you give a bullish case on Bitcoin going up to 150,000, but do you have the same bullish outlook for the other cryptocurrencies that are out there, the Ethereums and all the other ones that have popped up, or are you focused, or is your bullish outlook really focused more just on Bitcoin?
My focus is on Bitcoin because 90% of the cryptocurrencies are either low quality scams or pump and dumps. That being said, I think it's critical for people to invest part of their allocation to crypto in the alternative coins, anywhere between 20 and 40%, and to focus on names that are in the top 50, because there are a lot of names in there that are legitimate, but it's a lot harder to value those because they have no earnings, and it's harder to make a valuation case for some of those names the way it is for Bitcoin. It's very easy for me to justify how Bitcoin will be the #1 currency in the world within 10 years and catch gold at between $6 and $7 trillion. I don't know how much gold there is in the ground, but I know how much Bitcoin there is, and in 3 years you're going to have 300 million people around the world trying to get their hands on a few million Bitcoin. The supply-demand imbalance here is absolutely mind-boggling. But yes, you must diversify into the alternative coins. You just have to be really careful which ones you choose.
And Ronnie, to follow that up, what about investing in blockchain, sort of the technology that powers the Bitcoin? How do you feel about that?
It's a game changer. If you guys remember the cartoon, The Jetsons, I was born the same year as Maria, so she remembers it. That's where we are today. We're there now. And, this is a game changer the same way the airplane, the automobile, the internet, and the computer was. And this is what is going to propel us into the second half of the 21st century.
Why? Why? How do I know that?
There are already dozens of industries embracing this technology, from logistics to apparel to casinos to banks. I've done thousands of transactions already on the blockchain, and I have not had one error yet.
Wolfgang, Ronnie points out the supply-demand issue in Bitcoin. I don't own Bitcoin as of yet. Can you tell me or tell the viewers why I need to, or why anybody needs to go out and invest in Bitcoin right now at roughly 17,000?
Well, I'm not as bullish as Ronnie is over there, so I think I'd be very careful. At the end of the day, if one wants to speculate in currencies, that is a really volatile place to do it, and obviously we've seen a lot of up. I think people need to be very cautious, though, about who are the big players in this. And again, corporations and governments are the big players. The governments are against it. They're trying to criminalize Bitcoin. And I do agree, by the way, blockchain, great technology. And by the way, the governments will use that to issue their own. So you, for example, saw Putin coming out saying in January they're going to come out with their crypto ruble. You're having the Brits talk about it. You're having lots of governments talk about it. And when they issue it, I don't see what the value then is brought by Bitcoin, because it's too volatile to be managing from a corporate point of view.
I just look at it from the perspective of covering personal finance as many years as I did. In the 90s, when there was a mania in technology stocks that had no underpinning to them at all, we would never encourage individuals to go out there and start trading currencies if they didn't know what they were doing. This is a zero-sum game. The person on the other side of the transaction is probably someone with a lot more money, a lot more power, who's a lot smarter, quite frankly. And you just don't know what you're getting into. And if you want to speculate your hard-earned money, you have to be ready to have your you-know-what handed to you, whether it's Bitcoin or any one of these other markets that are hard to trade.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's really important to look at what you should be investing in. You should really be looking at what technology you should be investing in, and what does that mean for automation and for future other equities who are going to actually leverage blockchain and other technologies to actually automate processes to support that.
Ronnie, go ahead. Final word.
Yeah, I just want to ask every single person that enters this space has to ask them one question. I've asked this question to hundreds of people in recent weeks.
What's the question?
Hundreds of people, and 98% answered it the same way.
What's the question?
You have to ask yourself, what would be more painful, to lose a few months of your salary on a bet gone bad, or to stay on the sidelines and find out that I was right 5 or 10 years from now, and that you blew an opportunity to shave several years off of your retirement
Yeah,
age?
I'm not going to lose a couple of months' salary, is my answer.
That's the mania of you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it.
Exactly right.
Get it while it lasts. You better get in. You better get in. You better get in. That's what stirs people
Definition
up.
of a bubble.
I'll take the other side of that
Exactly.
trade. I'll take the other side of that trade any day.
There are always investments that you miss out on. You can't invest in everything that's good. So if you've missed out on Bitcoin so far, I think maybe you're better off still being on the sidelines.
I missed egg.com. Do I care?
No. I think you're all right.
My family didn't invest in Ford in the 1940s, but you know what? You can still buy, you survived. A car company today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wolfgang, Ronnie, great argument from you both. We appreciate it. Thanks for giving us the insights that we need on this Bitcoin story.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thanks for having us.
We appreciate it. Ronnie, great points. Thank you, sir.